Have you tried living in New York or San Francisco? These two cities have rent control. Rent control is probably the most destructive thing a city can do to itself or its population. The Ku Klux Klan couldn't come up with a better way to get rid of undesirables from white neighborhoods. Let me take you down this road a little bit and explain what happens. So you're a person who owns an apartment building in a town that doesn't have rent controls. The price of apartments is set by the market. The rent may be high, the rent may be low. It all depends on supply and demand. But the price you charge is the price that is fair for your area. It allows you to keep the apartments clean and maintained and still make a profit. And you're looking forward to the day when you can take those profits and build another apartment building, increasing supply and lowering the overall prices of apartments in your area. Capitalism rocks, doesn't it? So then the city imposes rent control. And they do this because they want the little people to love them and to re-elect them. Now you're forced to charge a price for the apartments that some bureaucrat has determined is a fair price based on some formula or supposed formula. Not sure about the math formula part. At first your tenants are happy because they're getting the same place for a lower price. But then as time passes, you realize that the price doesn't allow you to keep up the apartments like you want them to be kept up. And you also notice that you're not making a profit anymore, and in some cases, you're losing money. You've lost the ability to do business like you want to, and you've lost the incentive to having the apartments in the first place. The media labels you a slumlord. Some consumer advocate on Channel 3 shows the squalid conditions you allow your tenants to live in. At some point, you try to sell the apartments, but nobody's stupid enough to buy apartments that they can't possibly make money with. So you end up abandoning the apartments and going underground to avoid ruin. Now here's the splinter, the idea I want you to walk away with today. Most economic problems that we have today were caused by politicians who could not think beyond the initial consequences of their decisions long ago. Politicians rarely, if ever, think beyond the initial consequences of what they do, mostly because they're not very deep thinkers. But you also have to remember one thing. They're not there to solve problems, they are there to get reelected. Politicians will all say they're there to serve the public, but most of them are there to serve themselves and their friends. You will never move forward in life until you make that observation. Generations before, politicians created nearly all of the economic problems we have today because they never thought beyond what Dr. Thomas Sowell calls the first stage of their solutions. The politicians that come afterwards see these problems and want to solve them, but they have long forgotten the single stage thought process, and having forgotten that, they create reforms that use the very same single stage thinking that caused the problems in the first place. Brilliant! Henry Hazlitt wrote in his epic book, Economics in One Lesson, the art of economics consists in looking not merely at the immediate, but at the longer effects of any act or policy. It consists in tracing the consequences of that policy not merely for one group, but for all groups. And the media are either in bed with these morons, or they are as stupid as they are. I give you an example in my blog. Just check the link and just shake your head in disbelief. Thanks for watching. Do me a favor and like my page Pushing Back on Facebook. Go to politicalbrian.wordpress.com, and if you dare, go to Twitter and hurl 140 characters at me at Brian McQuaig. That's at BrianMcQuaig. MCQUAIG. Take care.